Are you looking for a break from the world? How about a little bit of Hakuna Matata? Well, Disney Plus has this really calming new show called Zenimation, and I'm going to tell you all about it in just a bit. Well, hello there. My name's Jeremy and welcome back to Freeform Disney, where I talk about all aspects of Disney, from the animated movies to the theme parks to Star Wars, Marvel, and Pixar, and the TV shows, and everything else in between. And that is why it's Freeform. And keep coming back every day for new daily content. If you're not subscribed yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Today we're talking about Disney Plus's new show, Zenimation. So what is Zenimation? Zenimation is this really neat, calming, kind of zen-like grouping of animation, but without the music and voices, it's just the kind of the background sounds. Now, this is a new show over on Disney Plus, and there are 10 episodes. They were all released at launch, and they're about 6 to 7 minutes each. Now, we don't know anything about future seasons yet. We can always hope. The official description for it is, unplug, relax, and refresh your senses for a moment of mindfulness with Walt Disney Animation Studios' Zenimation, an animated soundscape experience. Whether it's baby Moana being called by the ocean, Anna and Kristoff walking through an icy forest, or Baymax and Hiro Hamada flying over San Francisco, these iconic scenes become an oral experience like no other, with the sounds of ocean waves, an icy forest, and soaring flight. Zenimation pays tribute to both the visual and sound artists who have created Walt Disney Animation Studios' legacy of films. So who is behind Zenimation? Well, it was created and edited by David Bess. Now, he's been an editor with Disney for a good bit of time. He's got a few big credits on his name, like he was an editor on Tangled Ever After. He went ahead and was crew over on Princess and the Frog. And this series was something he came up with back for the 2019 D23 Expo. Essentially, the idea was trying to find something for Disney Animation to show off during the expo. And the expo is this huge, crazy, frenetic event. And so his idea was to find something that really helped people be able to slow down and relax. And see some Disney animation while you're at it. And they were originally looking at it just as like being single scene pieces, but ultimately decided to combine a bunch of those into bigger videos that were all grouped by some certain theme, which is really cool. David Bess especially likes to talk about the try everything moment from Zootopia. I mean, that amazing song as you're coming into the city. But you know how amazing it is even without that song? Because of all the different sound effects that are in there. And you get to see that in one of the videos. That's Explore. Now, it certainly wasn't just David Bess that went ahead and put this together, because it became a little trickier than just simply stripping out music, especially as the project became bigger and bigger. So let's see. Amy Astley was executive producer for the show, and they definitely worked along with the people from Disney Plus, and they ended up bringing Shannon Mills in to go do a lot of work on this, as well as some other sound editors. Now, Shannon Mills is one of the big people in sound design, has done all kinds of stuff. Well, heck, we'll be working on Raya and the Last Dragon coming up soon, has Black Widow coming up soon, and has been around for a while. And for him, he said this was like a dream come true. How often do you get a project where the focus of it really shows off the works of a sound designer, the sound effects? Because usually, that music is so front and center. On top of that, you got the voice acting, everything else. So usually you don't get to pay as much attention to it. Really, the idea of sound design like that is that you're not really thinking about it. It's just there. But without that sound design, everything would sound weird. It would sound off, and you would notice things were missing. So it's one of those ever-popular areas where the best sound design can be invisible, shall we say. Now, for a number of these, a lot of it's just stripping out the music that was already there and the other talking so you can get down to those sound effects. But there was some enhancement needed on some, and also potentially some additions of sound effects that just weren't there before. And I've got to say, they did one heck of a job. So let's go talk about the things that really make this series what it is. I would break it out into a few things. How about that it's calming? The nostalgia that's in there, old favorites that you get to see in a new light, and also it's probably a relatively inexpensive show for Disney when it comes to it. So on the side of it being calming, it really is. They talk about it promoting nice mindfulness And it can, if you use it that way and really allow yourself to slow down and focus in on those sounds, on what you're seeing, then it definitely can promote mindfulness. But even without, it certainly can be a soothing and relaxing thing to watch and just take you out of the stresses of the day you're in or whatever else might be going on in your life, or maybe help you go to bed at night. Heck, there are a lot of people who talk about just listening to it in the background while they're doing something else, and I can certainly see that. It makes me wonder when we'll almost get like a soundtrack for it or something, just for that same kind of idea. And I've also heard talk about it being ASMR-like, and yeah, I mean, I can get some of that sensation too right there. The nostalgia factor, I think, is also big, where we get to see a whole bunch of some of our favorite Disney animated movies all put together. It's the same reason you go up and look for those kind of montages up on YouTube anyway. Well, here it is, but on top of that, it's this whole cool Zenimation thing, which has that calming aspect to it at the same time. Pretty cool. And then, well, old favorites in the new light. Because you just don't get to see the movies like this with the singing, the talking, and the music stripped out of it. And it's really neat to actually get to hear those parts of the movie. The parts that you just would never catch otherwise, and just hear how many of these different things are there. I mean, heck, getting to listen to Hercules' Pegasus in Hercules, that's pretty cool. There's some really cool sound design as to what he sounds like. And so many things that are just really neat to be able to hear. And maybe even makes you look at some of those movies in a slightly different light than you saw them before. And the final piece is, I've got to imagine that this is a relatively inexpensive show for Disney to produce. When you think about the fact they're producing a whole 10 episodes of 6 to 7 minutes, but you don't have to do any new animation for it, well, hopefully it is less expensive. I'm hoping so anyway. Because if so, that might bode well for a season 2. And, I mean, I really, really do like this one. I mean, I can think of some ideas for a season 2, like how about transformation being one of them? There are so many great transformation scenes within different Disney movies, and I think that could be a cool theme. Or how about rain? Rain is one of those great calming background kind of noises. And hopefully there's enough different movies in Disney that have rain to do it. I think there might. Or on the other front, how about storm? So we get the different thunderstorms or other storms that are in different movies. That could be cool. Or magic. I mean, magic is a huge thing in Disney, and I'm sure there's enough to go ahead and pull from right there. So that's just cool ideas I think would be cool themes for a season 2. No, I don't like the series at all. I mean, I'm just thinking of season 2 ideas because I don't like it. You can probably tell. I like it. So if we jump onto my usual question of, is it good? Well, I mean, you know my opinion already. I've kind of given it away. But what about for you? Well, I'd say the most important question is, do you like, say, calming ambient noise with nostalgic Disney clips? If you do, go check it out. Now that said, I think you really have to be in the right mindset to go do it. If you're not there, if you're really needing something fast and frenetic pacing, well, this isn't it. This is about slowing down and being willing to take that look. And I think it's really cool. So hopefully just make sure to get yourself in the right mindset before you check it out. Now, a couple other little neat points before I leave you with this one. First off, I noticed that all of the movies seem to generally be Little Mermaid and newer. Now, there are a couple exceptions I noticed, like we did see some Sleeping Beauty and Peter Pan and Jungle Book from back in Disney's Silver Age, but otherwise not a lot that's older. Interesting. I'd like to see, hopefully, if there's a season 2, some of the older movies brought in. Oh, and most of these episodes have a relatively similar feel to them, even if in one case we're looking at water, or in another we're going ahead and looking at flight and we're up in the air, or we're busy exploring new areas. But then there are a couple that Discovery feels a little bit different to me. And Levity very much feels different. I mean, Levity will make you laugh numerous times throughout the course of it. I mean, you just can't watch a Levity without that happening. So well done there, too. And so, yeah, what else can I say? I thought Zenimation was great. Go watch it. Go check it out when you're in the right mood to do so, because I don't recommend doing it when you're not in that mood. But when you are in the right mindset to be willing to check it out, do it. Let me know what you think about it. And tell me, hey, let me know down below if you've got a favorite video from it. I'm curious which ones you liked best. And hey, as always everyone, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, do the usual. Give it a like, share it with others who will too, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be back here again tomorrow for another new episode of Freeform Disney. Have a magical day, and may the Force be with you. Always.